Hello everyone, I'm Carrie. Welcome to my channel. This video is about my fossil dress I made in the FossilCore branch of Cottagecore. We'll get to the dress in a moment, but if you do not know what Cottagecore is, The Guardian calls it, quote, a visual and lifestyle movement designed to fetishize the wholesome purity of the outdoors. It's an internet fashion aesthetic that burgeoned throughout the 2010s and was finally named on Tumblr in 2018. And like many previous movements that romanticized nature, it's a reaction to hustle culture, an escape from the dangers of the modern world and all its stress and trauma. It's an aspirational form of nostalgia. Imagine living in a cottage in the country with a garden, lots of greenery, floral prints, flowy dresses you made yourself, whimsical trinkets and natural items to decorate your cottage, and, of course, cute animals. Like its parent aesthetic, FossilCore is a fashion, home decor, and general life aesthetic, and a way of thinking. It is a partiality for the prehistoric, deep musings on the immensity of geologic time, a wistful pondering of a simpler time when you can stroll along the seafloor and eat mud like trilobites until you get chased by an anomalocaris. Or wander among the sea lilies. Now, I am not advocating a literal return to the past, more like a nostalgic and contemplative appreciation. Prehistoric style, not prehistoric values. Now, I'll give you some examples and activities for bringing FossilCore into your life and answer the question, what is FossilCore? It's recalling the wonder of your youth in discovering fossils, often dinosaurs. This is nostalgia for many, but a daily lived experience for me. It's digging up those plastic dinosaurs from when you were a kid and displaying them proudly, maybe in a bowl with pretty mineral crystals. It's wishing vegetarian dinosaurs would visit your cottage and come help you weed your garden, because of course you have a garden, or at least some plants to take care of. It's taking your pet fossils outside to get some sun and visit their distant relatives. It's holding tiny fossils in your hand and thinking they are so cute and sweet, you could just eat them, but don't. It's watching historical dramas and paying more attention to the rocks than the people. It's stopping to check building stones for fossil life, either with your alligator friend or without. It's decorating your garden with fossil-rich rocks from your geological homeland, the bedrock on which you were born, so that you can see fossils every time you go out there, even if you are nowhere near an outcrop. It's watching so many PBS Eons videos in between cost-tube videos and wishing you were the narrator because you love gushing about fossils. It's making and wearing fossil or fossil-themed jewelry and having plans for so much more. It's taking your favorite fossils, mine are ammonites, outside to the garden to hang out in the lettuce, because FossilCore is part of Cottagecore after all. It's finding the perfect background rocks to display your favorite fossils, even if they are the wrong age and rock type. But you know that, so it's okay. It's looking at your pyritized ammonite and then watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and thinking, oh my gosh, those people have been pyritized. It's sketching fossils yourself, like for a class, and realizing you love it so much, you sketch and paint your favorites on everything. It's spending hundreds of hours on beadwork or another craft project as a tribute to your favorite fossils and as a distraction from the news and horror of the modern world. It's searching for fossil fabric online and wishing you could make your own. It's throwing birthday parties where kids hunt for fossil shark teeth, eat ice cream glaciers, and watch Ice Age movies. It's owning and reading lots of books about fossils and Earth's history, including textbooks, easier to read nonfiction, anything about Mary Anning, including biographies and historical fiction, and even science fiction about fossil life. It's writing children's stories about fossil characters like Trolley and Matilda, two terrific trilobites. It's looking at modern forests and imagining the bizarre forests of the geologic past. And it's making your own fossil-themed clothing, like a simple linen underdress to go with your fossil collecting overdress and all the Regency Spencer jackets you plan to make. Hello all, here's my ammonite Regency underdress, and I'm going to try something different this time, sort of like a post-mortem instead of a step-by-step as I do it kind of thing. And that is because this gown was, or is, sort of a palette cleanser after I made Delilah, my alligator, and I continuously made the easiest possible choices. I used Laughing Moon pattern 138, and I made a mock-up of the bodice, and then I tried it on and actually made it smaller in this direction, so I cut out a bit this way, and that's because I have very narrow shoulders, basically a narrow torso in general. And then I shortened it so that it looks more Regency, and the seam line here will be hidden under Spencer jackets that I plan to wear with it. But my primary gown that I hope to wear with it, or overdress, will be the fossil bounding, history bounding overdress I made, I guess, last summer, that long ago. It's been a while. Okay. After I made the mock-up, I made the, cut out the pieces and sewed them together, and I made them out of the same linen that my friend Vicky embroidered these lovely little ammonites on. And I used 2 layers, so there is a lining here, and I machine sewed as much as possible. Again, I wanted this to be as easy as possible after Delilah, who was quite a puzzler. I did hand sew the, not really binding, because I didn't use binding like the instructions say, or piping, because again, this is just going to be a plain, comfy linen dress. So I did hand sew those together though, after doing the bag lining method and pressing them. And then the sleeves, I did the same, where I machine sewed them together, but then I hand sewed the lining, basically whip stitched it down so that there are no raw seams, because this linen, like a lot of linen, is extremely shreddy, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. I even did it at the seam line for the sleeve itself, since it's only a 1-layer sleeve instead of having a sleeve lining. I just left that out because this is an underdress, and I don't want it to be too hot. But the bodice has 2 layers. It does have a lining because I did want more structure there. Okay, but I just basically flat felled this seam here. And the binding for the sleeve hem, I guess you could say, is about 1/2 inch longer, not including seam allowance, than my actual bicep where the sleeve hem sits. And that might actually be too small. Sometimes I feel like it is a little bit too tight, but I think it will be fine. The linen is almost stretchy. It's not really stretchy, but it is so wibbly wobbly that you can kind of see that in the grain here, like that. Whee! I think it'll be fine. And if nothing else, I could take this off, which would be annoying, but I could do that and make that whiter because I still have plenty of the linen left. And I did the same thing where I machine sewed the binding on, and then I turned it under and then whip stitched it by hand so that you only see you don't see any of the stitches on the outside. I don't know why I did that, because in other places, like the hem of the skirt and the back of the skirt where there's one seam, I did machine sew it. So I was just being inconsistent, like lazy at times and not at others. All right. Then the skirt itself, I actually decided that I didn't want to make all those sort of triangular skirt panels like in the pattern, especially because of the way this was embroidered. Okay, so the embroidery is basically straight along the selvage, which was down here, and I didn't want to have to deal with the skirt panels, which are triangular and then curved at the bottom, because that would mean that the ammonites would be a kind of irregular spacing from the hem once it was finished. And I didn't want to have to deal with the possibility of one of the triangular panels like going straight across through one of my ammonites, because I didn't want that. So I actually made the skirt more like a round gown. It is just one long rectangle, 100 inches wide, and the length of it here from the hem to the skirt, it's like at my ankle or a little bit above. And then I just pleated most of this, and there is a lot. Maybe I could have gone with less than 100 inches, but I didn't want to. I wanted it to be kind of full and floofy. I pleated in using the halving method into these two sides of the back. And then for the front, I just did a tiny little bit of gathering, and it ended up not being super regular, but that's okay. It's very, very light gathering, and that is just to give it a little bit more body at the front so it's not straight down, because I don't have those nice triangular skirt panels coming off like that. Instead, it's all straight down. So this just enables me, you know, to have a little more shape in the front, I guess, like belly-wise. I don't know. But I think it's more flattering that way, for this dress anyway, when you have those rectangular, like one big rectangular skirt panel, because then I only had one seam at the back, and I did use the pulling method for linen to get a nice perfectly even rectangle, because again, this linen is ridiculously wibbly wobbly. You can sit there and painfully cut along one of the threads to make sure you get a square or rectangle shape, but I actually pulled threads all along this 100 inches widthwise for the skirt panel, so that I could cut it exactly. And I think that helped a little bit. But I machine sewed the seam, and then I was like, okay, do I want to hand fell this? By then I was impatient to move on, and so I machine felled it. Basically fold over these two sides, raw edges, and fold them under, and then just stitch along twice. So, oh well. But that way, yeah, no raw edges at all, because again, this linen is ridiculously wibbly wobbly. And then I made buttonholes using my machine, which is, you know, you just push the button and it does it. If you put the button in the back, which was great. Down here where I folded stuff up, even though I trimmed all the seams, this was a little bit thick. So this one is a little bit problematic, but I can get the button in. And I ended up doing 6 buttons. I think the pattern only calls for like 4, but I wanted more buttons. And these are Dorset style buttons. They're not actual Dorset buttons, from Dorset in England, which is where Lyme Regis is, which is where a lot of ammonites are. But my friend, we did a group order of these Dorset style buttons, and I think she said they're from Czechoslovakia or whatever. But I didn't feel like making my own because it takes forever, especially when you have such tiny thread there. And so I sewed those on, and yeah, it's done. And I really like it. And it's nice linen, so I can wear it in the summer, even to Jane Fest, and I will not burn up. video was originally going to be part of the April Fool's costume collaboration, but I got caught up in making an alligator shawl and missed the April 1st deadline. Also, joking aside, this aesthetic is my actual lifestyle, and while it is not a trend per se like cottagecore, I want to know if any of you already participate in elements of FossilCore, or would you like to join me? Do you have any other ideas about how to integrate enthusiasm for fossil life into your aesthetic? Please let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more historically inspired sewing, FossilCore sewing projects, because there will be more, historical costuming, or video essays on 18th and 19th century literature and history. Thanks, bye!
Tinkerbell, you are not supposed to be up here. No, you are not supposed to be up here. Backyard. Oh, is that what you think of what I'm telling you? Silly.